Good afternoon, May 22nd, 12:05 p.m. I'm going to do a real quick midday review on some swings. We are in oil right around here, 72.53 on a buy side alert. Today it corresponded with VWAP, that orange line on the 1 minute oil chart, and also an EPICS model. And then we got ads in here. And there's a couple more points of ads before it hits the target. So here's the buy side alert. Buy side alert 72.53 over VWAP on 1 minute, resistance on model, starter size, epic oil algorithm. And then this alert went out with the, there's the buy trigger, an ad, an ad, an ad, and the target. So that's EPICS algorithm. This main resistance here, it pivoted around for some time. These are 30-minute candles. That was quite the battle, but there was a time cycle ending, and we knew it was going to pop either way, and it popped up, and now it's up in here. But so yeah, once again, oil trade going well. Explain the bias and why on the feed and in the private Discord oil traders room, and also explained what's going on with the dollar and where its time cycles are and what they need to watch for. So that's going really well. Here's oil intraday. The dollar's got a time cycle peak coming here between now and 12:30, 12:45 range. So we're expecting some probable pressure intraday on oil. And then the probability is that it's going to run up into that target. The pressure for dollar could, if pressure does come from the dollar, could dump oil into the lower trending target, but we don't think that's going to happen today. Here's NTAP, earnings on deck. Sean asked me to take a look at it. So this is the daily chart on NTAP. Obviously a trending stock, obviously using its MAs to back test and keep its trend. Right now, definitely some profit taking. Not huge though. It's right into the 50 MA on the daily. It likes to use the 100 obviously, and we'll see how it is on the other side of earnings here. So I'm just going to give it a quick alarm here. Thanks for bringing that one, Sean. That's an awesome setup. I'm going to watch this one close. 64.40. If you can get into oversold positions, it's not easy, but it's definitely your probabilities are way better. We're quite good at it. We win a super high percentage of them. So we always have them on watch. So I appreciate when people bring them into the room. So I'm just going to watch that one, and then I'll get it set up, and then obviously it can be structured in a model. So if we get into a trade, we're good to go there. PG is another one that Sean brought in that we're watching. It was dumped. Would have been a good trade so far. I was going to execute over the 50 MA. It's for sure along. That's on the daily. But it's done well since it's dumped so far. I just like really structured plays, so I'm gonna really hammer down over that 50 probably. MU, so up 7.32% today. This is a 4-hour chart. Everything's aggressive on it. I'm watching this area for previous high resistance, and up over top, I'm hoping for some structure. I'm actually hoping for a retrace here down into about, well, it's probably not going to get there. It might get 50%. Like it might get it's hard to say. This is a tough one to gauge. And I've got relative to earnings trading up too, so it's a little more difficult. But anyway, I think you get the idea. So either on a breakout or a retracement, I'm looking at long in it. We'll see how it functions over the next few days. There's a holiday on Monday, so most of what's happening now will be for setup for Tuesday for next week. Not there won't be some opportunity, but Disney got up into its resistance here over top of its mid quad, expected that resistance to come off, and we'll see if it gets up into that target or dumps into this target. All the numbers for the resistance and supports are on yesterday's video, and a number of videos lately for these that I'm going through. Facebook, same thing, up over its mid quad into resistance, and it's come off a bit. And I kind of expect that for a lot of our plays between now and Tuesday. PSTG, same thing happened, up over its mid quad, that gray line hit the resistance, came off, and it's 1 fib down, bounce, and that's kind of how these function at their mid quad buy sell trigger or support and resistance line. ISTI, same kind of thing happened. It got up to that fib before its mid quad, so it's not a mid quad yet, and it came off a bit. So that range between mid quad, the first fib up, the first fib down, that's your test area. Once it gets in there, equities tend to test in between until they decide to go up to the next target or down to the next target. That's kind of how the structure works. A decision just has to be made. Are we going up or down? And that's literally how the market works. It's really simple. Person doesn't even have to do much more than that. This is paint by numbers trading, very, very simplified for you. We're doing all the charting for all the equities. Apple, same thing. This is a mid quad line. Anybody that's following these plays knows, where these lines are and what the support and resistance points are. Same thing, down 1 fib, up 1 fib, bouncing in between until it makes a decision. We're working on a model, full model for Apple, by the way. S&P is doing the same thing. This is a mid quad, up 1 fib, down 1 fib is what it's going to do until it trends up or it trends down. And again, all the support, resistance, and price targets and stuff have been on the recent videos. Just take a look at them. There's no real reason to go through it again. I've over the last number of weeks, about 6 weeks now, I've been going through all of these plays. We're going to add more before the weekend, actually a whole bunch, because I expect next week to be a fantastic trading week. So there's going to be a whole brand new batch for our members in there. As far as charts, if you guys want me to look at any, go ahead and throw them in. I'm going to, while you do that, just take a look at how the momentums are today, see if there's any structure on any of these. Yesterday's momentums were just awful. This is CRMT, way above its trend, way above its MAs, way too late to take a long position on it. So that's your structure on that one. ARQL, wow, super, super bullish, out of its cup and handle, boom. So it came out of the bowl and boom down into the gap here. Nice play. Congrats, anybody that's in that one. It's too late now, but great play. MDXG, it's a dump that doesn't have a lot of structure. I don't like it at all. I looked at it earlier. SMRT, I don't mean to be negative about these. You just have to, you really have to know what you're doing. It's good to get some structural trading under your belt. Learn how we trade structure in these other plays. Follow us around for a while. Get a good feel for what it means to have structure in what you're doing. You'll sleep better at night. Your returns will be fantastic, and it gets you away from the casino mind and gets you into thinking like a business. And then later, if you want to play some of these, like sometimes I play them and I don't say anything because I don't want to mess up what's going on with some of the traders. But anyway, I go through durations and periods of playing them, at different times. But anyway, this one's getting up and near historical resistance, so I'm really not interested in it right now. So these are extended. NSTG, same thing here, extended into previous resistance, historical resistance. ARCT, Just a garbage chart. Bottom players will definitely be after this. It's got the 200 MA not far above. It's probably going to come off there if it even gets there. Up over the 200 MA, I'd look at it from a day trading perspective. The other thing too is I like to day trade things that, you know, if they've got structure and the trade doesn't go perfect at first, I can sit in it and I can add through it. BBOX, iffy, doesn't have great structure. AREX I've held many times as a day trader, and it does, even though it doesn't respect its 200 MA, it does have symmetry and structure. I haven't watched this one over the last couple of days, but you can see how it's sitting on the 100 MA today. It does have, you know, it does have a certain amount of structure. It can be modeled. It's a little far into this current move, but anyway, I won't trade it. XSPL, I don't know anything about it. Obviously a newer issue. LASR, same thing. Don't know anything about it. So you'll find when you get into soft spots in the market, which is happening right now, that you know, the pennies will under dollar, the stocks will move, the aggressive structures, the recent IPOs, the day traders paradise stuff, because the structure's extended on everything else and decisions have to be made. So not a lot happens. The liquidity slows down and not a lot moves. So the day traders start moving stuff that's going to bring them return. And that's how the markets work. We're moving into that holiday Monday right now, and that's generally what happens. QTNT, a garbage chart. It is over the 200. It could be on a turn here, but you can see how it's failed 200 a number of times, so it doesn't trade on that. What it trades on is simple fib structure. You can trade it, but I don't think you're going to get much more here. You might get 764 or 46, sorry. And over that 746, then you can look for a continued breakout turn from bottom. CPAH, terrible chart, don't even look at it. EYEN, same thing, awful, don't even look at it. CLNE, I've traded a number of times. It can certainly get momentum, it can certainly bring a fantastic return. You just got to know how to do it. And today's not the day for me to explain good day trading disciplines. Because all I'm doing right now is looking for structured plays. We're going to load up our structured plays for next week, go into another round. The last 6 to 8 weeks has been fantastic, but you know, we got to bring the fresh charts in, so that's what we're going to do between now and next week. Day trading, if you ever want some coaching on it, some private coaching, contact me, and you know, I'll spend 3 or 4 or 5 hours with you and school you up on it. And I'll probably do some more here shortly because I'm in the middle of writing a book and I got to have a section on it, but not today. TOO. By the way, VXRT, very difficult to trade. TOO is a bottoming pattern. It's probably going to turn. If you're going to day trade any of these, this is one I'd watch over 327-ish to its historical resistance in around 470. That's probably going to go. So if you're going to day trade anything, I'd watch the TOO. It's not guaranteed, of course. CPAH coming up on its 200 MA. Careful, careful if you're long. Garbage chart. EYEN. So these are just garbage. CDTX, just like yesterday. See, this is an example of one that has a similar structure to TOO. This one, you know, you just trade in between your MAs now. So up over previous high, long into your 100 MA, and that'll bring you close into that resistance, historical resistance around 560. We'll let it go, it probably will, but you got to be careful because come next week, all of these plays will be dried up. They won't be running. Yeah, I mean the odd one will, but. SN, same idea. It's up over the 200. So I think there's a high probability of this one running this week. Yeah, probably to 560. But you gotta know what you're doing. Bring your time frames down, and make sure you're up over your MAs. And boom, you can see it. You know, just bring it down to your 5-minute simple day trading lesson. You know, under your 200 MA. You know, so once you get down in there, it dumps. Then watch. And as soon as it gets up over your MAs like it did here, look at all the volume that comes in. Just ride it up, and when it turns, so then bring your time down, your time frame down to the 1 minute, and when it turns underneath your MAs, get out. So you know, here's the run up here. Start to turn under the MAs. You should be scaling, and boom, you're out there, right? You're in there and you're out there. It's super simple if you use your MAs and your volume and your indicators. It doesn't take long to teach a person, but you just got to know how to do it. You got to have disciplined control, mature mind control over yourself, so you don't go casino on it. And I've noticed now, you know, I haven't been a trainer for long. You know, it's just under 2 years, but I've noticed a consistent pattern that traders, they get fairly good at what they're doing, and then they blow up in the mind, right? And it's a process of that. And if you can harness that, great. And that's why I keep harping on these structured plays. I like to keep everybody in the structured plays, because even if they get into trouble, it's not a disaster. Because to get people to cut quickly can be difficult too, because in the mind, it traps people in the mind. So if I can get one of our traders that's learning in a structured play, at least I can get them back out. So if you find yourself upside down in a trade and it is a structured trade, let me know and I'll help you, you know, bounce yourself out of it. But anyway, that's a good way to learn too, how to trade structure, you know, when you're in trouble. But when you do it on these momentums that become bag holders, there's just no way to help, right? I mean, sometimes there is. But okay, I think you get the point. That's a short midday for today. I don't see any charts in here. It's 12:22. I'm going to call it for the day, and we'll see you tomorrow. There's a ton of charting coming out to members here in the next 48 hours. Talk soon.